Welcome to our channel. Today we are going to study a part of biology known as genetic diseases. We are going to study this part of biology with questions and answers for a better understanding. The first question we have here says, a disease caused by an abnormality in the DNA makeup of an organism is best described as dash. A. Bacterial disease. B. Genetic disease. C. Fungal disease. D. Viral disease. In this question, the correct answer is B. Genetic disease. A genetic disease is an abnormality in the genetic makeup of an organism. A genetic disease is that abnormality in the DNA makeup of an organism. So, genetic diseases are transmitted from parents to their offspring. The next question says, a genetic disorder which makes the red blood cell of an individual to look like a sickle is best described as dash. A. Malaria. B. Fever. C. Sickle cell anemia. D. Cholera. In this question, the correct answer is C. Sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is a genetic condition which makes the red blood cell of an individual to resemble a sickle in shape. So when an individual is suffering from this sickle cell anemia, his or her red blood cell will not be circular in shape again. The normal shape of the red blood cell of the individual will now change and begin to look like a sickle. The next question says, which of the following is the effect of sickle cell anemia on an individual? A. Paralysis. B. Abdominal pain. C. Pneumonia. D. All of the above. In this question, the correct answer is D. All of the above. When an individual is suffering from sickle cell anemia, that individual will experience paralysis because when someone is having this issue of sickle cell anemia, the abnormal shape of the red blood cell of that individual will prevent free flow of blood to different parts of the body. So the brain will not receive the blood cells, the adequate blood that it needs to function very effectively, and that can lead to paralysis. Studies have shown that in people that have sickle cell anemia, there is difficulty in the flow of blood to the small intestine, and that can make those individuals who experience abdominal pain. Pneumonia is also one of the effects of sickle cell anemia on an individual. All these things are different effects of sickle cell anemia on an individual. The next question says, which of the following is a hereditary disorder? A. Kwashiorkor. B. Malaria. C. Cystic fibrosis. D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is C. Cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disorder in an individual. Studies have shown that this cystic fibrosis is one of the hereditary diseases or is one of the hereditary disorders in people. The next question says, a gene therapy that prevents the activation of estrogen receptor in breast cancer will be beneficial to dash. A. Patients with lots of estrogen receptor expressed in their tumor. B. Patients with no estrogen receptor expressed in their tumor. C. Patients with malaria. D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is A. Patients with lots of estrogen receptor expressed in their tumor. Gene therapy is one of the ways of solving different health challenges. Studies have shown that a gene therapy that has the ability of preventing the activation of estrogen receptor in breast cancer will be beneficial to patients with lots of estrogen receptor expressed in their tumor, because the activation of estrogen receptor in breast cancer or in people with breast cancer is a way of encouraging tumor growth and development. So a gene therapy that prevents the activation of this estrogen receptor in breast cancer will be highly beneficial to patients with lots of estrogen receptor expressed in their tumors. The next question says, which of the following is primarily a genetic disease of the nervous system? A. Pneumonia. B. Bronchitis. C. Huntington's disease. D. Bronchiolitis. In this question, the correct answer is C. Huntington's disease. Huntington's disease is a genetic disease of the nervous system. Research have shown that this disease is transmitted or can be transmitted from parents to their offspring. This disease affects the nervous system seriously in such a way that it can lead to the damage of the cells of the nervous system. The next question says, Huntington's disease is also called dash. A. Huntington's cholera. B. Huntington's chorea. D. C. Plasmolysis. D. Hemolysis. In this question, the correct answer is B. Huntington's chorea. This disease, known as Huntington's disease, is also regarded as Huntington's chorea. The next question says, Huntington's disease affects people with dash. A. Black hair. B. White hair. C. No melanin. D. All of the above. In this question, the correct answer is D. All of the above. This Huntington's disease is one of the genetic diseases in people, and studies have shown that this disease affects both males and females, irrespective of the hair color or whether the individual has melanin in the skin or no melanin. So this Huntington's disease affects different people. The next question says, which of the following is true about Marfan syndrome? A. It is hereditary. B. It affects the males. C. It affects the female. D. All of the above. In this question, the correct answer is D, all of the above. There is a genetic disease known as Marfan syndrome. There is a genetic disorder called Marfan syndrome. Studies have shown that this Marfan syndrome can be transmitted from generation to generation, and it affects both males and females. The next question says, Marfan syndrome is a hereditary disorder that affects dash. A. Connective tissues. B. Hair color. C. Hair texture. D. None of the above. In this question, the correct answer is A. Connective tissues. This problem, known as Marfan syndrome, is a hereditary disorder that affects connective tissues seriously in human beings. So this Marfan syndrome is one of the hereditary disorders that affects the activities or that affects the lives of people. The next question says, a victim of Marfan syndrome is characterized by dash. A. Long legs. B. Long fingers. C. Chest wall deformity. D. All of the above. In this question, the correct answer is D. All of the above. Research have shown that individuals or people that suffer from this Marfan syndrome experience some certain things in them. A victim of Marfan syndrome is characterized by long legs. So when someone is having this problem known as Marfan syndrome, that person will have a very long leg. The individual will have long fingers, and studies have shown that there will also be chest wall deformity in that individual. This Marfan syndrome is inheritable. It can be transmitted from parents to their offspring. So all these options are the things that are observed in an individual that is suffering from this Marfan syndrome. The next question says, a genetic disorder characterized by excessive accumulation of iron in the body system is best described as dash. A. Hemochromatosis. B. Malaria. C. Hemolysis. D. Plasmolysis. In this question, the correct answer is A. Hemochromatosis. Hemochromatosis is a genetic disorder characterized by excessive accumulation of iron in the body of an individual. So this hemochromatosis is also regarded as iron overload, because once an individual is having this, the level of iron in the system of that person will be so high in such a way that the excessive iron can cause many health challenges in that individual. So this hemochromatosis can be caused by other factors, like someone taking food materials that are rich in iron, or when someone takes things or that contain excess iron in them. But this hemochromatosis is also a genetic disorder, and once an individual inherits this issue, that individual can also transfer that to the offspring. So a genetic disorder characterized by excessive accumulation of iron in the body system is best described as hemochromatosis. The next question says, which of the following is the effect of hemochromatosis on a person? A. Liver damage. B. Joint pain. C. Irregular heartbeats. D. All of the above. In this question, the correct answer is D. All of the above. When an individual is having this hemochromatosis, when there is excess iron in the body system of an individual, that excess iron can cause liver damage. Excess iron can also cause joint pain, and studies have shown that when the level of iron in the body is above normal, it can also trigger irregular heartbeat. All these things are different effects of iron overload or hemochromatosis on a person. The next question says, which of the following is true about Tay-Sachs disease? A. It is hereditary. B. It affects the nerve cells. C. It is fatal. D. All of the above. In this question, the correct answer is D. All of the above. There is another genetic disease known as Tay-Sachs disease. This disease is one of the diseases that can be inherited by an individual, and this disease primarily affects the nervous system in such a way that they have harmful effects on the nerve cells. Studies have shown that this disease is highly fatal. It can kill an individual when medical attention is not given to that person. So this disease is a hereditary disease. It has a great negative effect on nerve cells, and it is also fatal. All these things are facts about Tay-Sachs disease. If this is the first time you are watching our video, if this is the first time you are joining this channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel so that you can study other topics that we have treated in many of our videos. You can also make your comments in this channel because here we make educational videos in biology.